How delicious is that? Mom's gonna be super happy when you make this for her this Mother's Day. Let's take a try. Now, didn't that look delicious? Your mom's gonna be so happy with you when you bring her a plate of fresh pasta. And luckily, it's not too difficult to pull off such a delicious dish. We're gonna start off today with 300 grams of all-purpose flour, okay? You're gonna take your flour and you're gonna put it on a clean surface. Right here on the counter is perfect. You're gonna kind of make like a hill with it. All right, you've got your pile of all-purpose flour, 300 grams. And next step, what you're gonna do is you're actually going to make a well. Sounds intimidating, but you're okay. So, how we make a well is I hold a pencil in my hand. No actual pencil, but kind of like how you hold a pencil. You kind of want to make and dig yourself a well in this pile of flour. Look how easy, it's like playing in a sandbox. But instead of sand, it's flour. All right, look at that beautiful well. Okay. Main idea here with the well is that you want your walls of flour to keep in the eggs that you're gonna put in here. So we've got 3 whole eggs, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna crack it right in the middle here into the well. Look at that. And that well is gonna cradle all 3 of those eggs. All right, we've got our 3 eggs inside our well. If your well's holding up, it's not gonna let any of those egg whites leave that little well of yours. And that's what we're doing here. We're almost making like a bowl for all those eggs to sit in that flour. Because what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add 15 tablespoons of olive oil right to this well. And remember what I said last time, we love our butter and we love our oils. It's what makes our food taste so good. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna do a pinch of sea salt right in the middle there. Congratulations, you're getting closer and closer to making your own fresh pasta. All right, only a few more steps here. Now you wanna take a fork. You're gonna wanna mix these eggs so that it's able to take on some of that flour on the outside. And see, you don't wanna go too fast. You don't want that yolk to spill outside of the walls that you've built. Not too crazy, you just want to mix these guys together so that they start taking on, some of that flour on the outside. It likes that flour. The eggs start to feel like, oh, I know what we're doing now. And what you'll see is slowly your flour starts to become incorporated into the well. You feel like you can get a little more flour in there, go ahead. Don't be afraid to push some of your walls out if you need to. The purpose here is you just want to slowly start to incorporate your eggs with the flour. And here's the thing, cooking does not have to be perfect. Your well might start to get a little bigger. If that's what happens, we just push it all back in. Now we're kind of getting to a point that I really think we can kind of start adding a lot more in here. So now it's kind of becoming a point where I want to start working with it. You could go a bit longer with that fork and keep going, but I want to see what we're at here, And all we're doing here is we're just working with the dough. We're getting all that flour in there. We're getting that mixture to really mix in with everything. And don't worry, this right here is going to look a lot different once you put a little love into it. You're gonna wanna knead this. You're gonna wanna start getting this together. And kind of like your muscles when you work out, how you're tearing those muscles while you're working out, and then you go back again and get stronger if you ever make it to round 2 of the gym. That's exactly what's happening with this gluten. We're stressing it out. We're just gonna keep working this together. This is the most intensive part about the pasta. Here's the thing that comes along with getting that experience and doing those reps of making your own fresh pasta. This guy is just a touch dry to my feel, And we still got a lot of flour here. So that means that we just need a little more binder. Just crack another egg. And like I said, you're gonna get nervous at first. You're gonna be like, oh gosh, too much. And then go back and pick up all your other bits. All right, classic cooking incident at this moment. One more egg was too much. This is kind of the other direction, which you don't want. You don't want it kind of slimy. You almost want it like Play-Doh. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get some more all-purpose flour to dust it and kind of get it to a point that we want it to be at. I've got a little more all-purpose flour. This flour is gonna be your best friend in this dish. It's gonna save you a lot if you get it a little too moist. So I'm just gonna, dabble a little on top and kind of help it continue to bind together. And what's the worst thing that happens? You make a little more pasta? Wow, no one's gonna be complaining about that one. Have fun with it. You wanna make sure you get every little crevice all included in here. So put some muscle into it, okay? Your mother gave birth to you. The least you can do is make her some fresh pasta. All right, this is starting to look pretty good. When you can start to form it into a ball like this, that's what you're looking for. Not too sticky, but not dry. But basically you want Play-Doh. Kind of Play-Doh is a bit, just a touch sticky, but also palatable. Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this in saran wrap and let it rest for 30 minutes. And probably wash your hands. Just throw it in that saran wrap, let it do its thing. 30 minutes on the counter. Gives you time to clean up the mess you probably created. You don't want to leave any messes for mom. All right, so we're back 30 minutes later. Beautiful dough should be done resting by now. On your nice new clean countertop, you're just gonna plop it right on here. Almost Play-Doh-like, not sticky, but not too dry. I want to show you that you can really use anything when it comes to making pasta. It's totally not because I don't know where the rolling pin is, so I'm going to find something that can mimic what I need it to do. A plastic water bottle. And I'm gonna show you that you can really make pasta out of anything. Your leftover flour that you were using before to make it perfect, we're gonna just lightly dust it on top here. And then you're also gonna dust whatever you're using as your rolling pin. Nice and clean here, but we'll see if this works. And basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna start from the middle and roll out. Roll out so you can kind of get a good feeling of how thick this dough still is. Now remember, the thinner you make it, kind of affects what kind of noodle you're gonna get. I'm gonna flip it around, lightly dust the other side too. See, no excuses. You can even use a plastic water bottle to roll it out for you. You don't want too thick of pasta. There you go. Nice and flat, not too sticky, palatable. You can still take it off the counter with ease. That's your pasta right here. Isn't that awesome? But this is super versatile. I love this. This is a great simple recipe if you're trying to impress friends or, more importantly, impress your mother. This is the starting place right here. And this is where you can let your imagination run wild. Does mom like spaghetti noodles or fettuccine noodles, or do you want to spell out I love mom out of your pasta dough? Anything's possible here. This is a great point where you can decide what you want to do with your dish. Today I'm going to make fettuccine noodles, probably a little thicker and bigger than what we're used to, but I love fettuccine noodles. So let's go ahead and start cutting. All right, so make sure that you put your pasta onto a cutting board. You don't want to mark up mom's counters. She'll be very angry. So what you'll want to do here is I'm going to cut it in half first. Now, probably a little short for fettuccine noodles, but you still get the gist. Now, are you a perfectionist? Just for today, I kind of want to say no. But if you are a perfectionist, you would cut this down into a square so that these guys are nice and flat. And then you would do that same process again of flattening your extra dough out. But today I'm going to make it super simple. Sometimes it's those imperfections that make it beautiful. And there's a noodle. If you can believe that. Okay, all chopped up. Before you start handling this, I would do a little dusting of flour so that your noodles don't stick together. You don't really want clumps. And whenever you need it, you just put a little more flour in there so that they don't stick. All right, all your pasta's cut up, nice and floured. It shouldn't stick together. It should all be individual pieces. Now for the next step, the hardest part, we have to boil a pot of water. All right, as we get ready for our water to boil, first things first, you're gonna wanna salt the water. Now, when salting water, I find a lot of people actually under-season their water. You want this to taste like it just came out of the ocean. Your other best friend is gonna be some sort of slotted spoon. You're gonna want an easy way to grab all that pasta out when you're done, because we're gonna keep that pasta water. It's gonna be delicious and perfect for the sauce we're gonna pair this with. And don't forget your strainer as well. We've got our water just about boiling. Pasta is ready to go right in there. Here's the thing, you're gonna wanna make sure that you don't pile all of this pasta in there. It's still a good amount of pasta. It's better to do less than more, especially when you're just starting out. And if you floured it correctly, it's not gonna stick on top of each other. It should all be individual strands. Now the thing to know about fresh pasta too, which is a lot cooler than the box, is the fact that it takes a lot less time to cook these. So you're gonna wanna watch them closely. It's gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, you'll start to see that it wants to kind of bubble up and boil over. It's that flour wanting to get out of there. If you just keep stirring it, it'll help kind of dissipate all those bubbles and avoid a giant potential mess. But kind of look how delicious these guys are cooking up. Oh, these are gonna be very thick noodles. But that's okay, remember, it's the imperfections that make cooking fun and delicious and memorable. So when you think your pasta is just about done, go ahead and try to find your thickest piece and give it a little taste test. How's it taste? It's gonna be super hot, so just be careful. There's nothing like fresh pasta in the world. It's so good and so simple. It just takes a little time and effort. I'm gonna start transferring them over to the colander. Remember, we want to keep this pasta water. This is gold right here. And notice how I didn't add any oil to the water, yet all the noodles are still not sticking. Yeah, unfortunately that oil trick is definitely not true. All right, let those drain for a second. All right, so I'm gonna transfer my pasta water into this bowl here. Just be very careful, it's gonna be very, very hot. This is where we have fun with it. All right, so what pasta is good without a nice, delicious sauce? I'm gonna show you a super simple sauce you can pull off at home. Really, you can pretty much do whatever you'd like as long as you've got a little butter and some milk. You can pretty much make any kind of sauce you want. All right, first things first, for our delicious sauce, we're gonna grab some olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom and to prevent your butter from burning. Then I'm gonna throw in a whole stick of butter and get that cooking. I'm also gonna grab a spatula so I can help this along. And like I said, this is where your creativity can come in. You can throw some onion in here, fresh garlic. Unfortunately, I only have the garlic powder, but once the stick of butter melts down, that's where you'd add your butter, or that's where you'd add your garlic. I'm gonna add my garlic powder right to this butter mixture. I just had a jar of sun-dried tomatoes around. I'm gonna throw this right here in the pot too and get it all starting to cook together. That's already starting to smell just wonderful. And what I started here with was 200 grams of sun-dried tomatoes. And to make it nice and creamy, I've got 240 milliliters of milk. All right, so our sauce is ready to get going here. We're gonna use about a cup of that pasta water that we saved and pour it right in here. Hear that noise? Yum. That's a good noise. That's a wonderful noise. Now you're not gonna wanna dump that pasta water yet. You're gonna wanna keep it around just in case we need a little more. You wanna make sure your sauce isn't too creamy. Okay, now we're gonna start adding that milk ever so slowly to this delicious concoction. Just a little bit at a time. All right, so this is the point that I can get the sauce to. If you want it even creamier, you can always add like a block of cream cheese to it. That will make it delicious and creamy. Now with this kind of sauce, we're just gonna wanna coat these guys. So we're gonna take a little scoop of our deliciousness, place that right in there. And you can kind of determine if you want a little more of that butter oil, a little more of that sun-dried. When you think you've got it to a spot that you like, go ahead and start mixing it up. All right, that's looking pretty delicious. Nice and covered. Good amount of sun-dried tomatoes in there as well. I think it's time to plate. Just grab a handful with the tongs. Now hopefully your noodles look a little prettier, but remember, it's those imperfections that make it special. And this is where you can get creative again. You can do a little cheese topping here. I'm just gonna go simple. A little parsley. Give it a little green look. How delicious is that? Mom's gonna be super happy when you make this for her this Mother's Day. Let's take a try. Homemade pasta is just so good. You can feel it like fuel your soul to do whatever you want to do that day. Let me know if you do this recipe in the comments below. Let me know what Mom says about it. Let me know what your family says about it. Just let me know if you make it. Yeah, it's a good dish. I really recommend that you give this a try. Till next time, eat good, be happy.